Keller Williams Command brings the agent operating system and the consumer operating system together seamlessly.
Command organized everything for me and put it in one place.
When you have dominion over what you've got at your fingertips, it gives you the opportunity to grow. I was always moving between these different applications,
but none of them talk to one another. And as a result, there's lost clients, which means lost dollars.
A spreadsheet for my finances.
We had 7 or 8 different logins.
A spreadsheet for my showings reports, for my listings, my price adjustments.
It was a big time drain.
Our goal is nothing short of reinventing how people experience real estate through technology and making sure that you're the owner of that technology.
We wanted to build a platform that would connect Keller Williams agents all over the world. This technology was built by agents, directed for agents, and ultimately created to make your lives better.
We really took time with each one of the applets, getting to know how it could help us in our business, and Designs was huge because it eliminated that Canva expense. We templated what is our brand going to be, and now everything is branded, it's succinct, it takes seconds to create new listing, under contract, just closed.
We use the campaigns dashboard a lot. Within the campaigns dashboard, we can send direct mailers out to neighborhoods that we farm. You just choose like an area, or you can say 123 Main Street, we want like 250 mailers to go out for just listed within a 5-mile radius, or you choose a radius. We also use the campaigns dashboard to set up social media ads and pay-per-click ads to not only be in our hyper-local area, but also farm outside to gain more territory.
The way people are shopping for homes has changed. Everything is social, everything is on the phone. So if you can't be on the phone and them have direct access to you as their agent, you're losing. You can tell a real estate agent built this app, and that's what I appreciate. If they find a property within the app and they want to ask about it, it goes directly to you.
It's a really great way of being able to connect with your client if you're using the same platform together, and I can see what they're accessing, what's interesting them, when they're clicking on things, when they're opening things. So it helps me also be more efficient how I'm working with my clients.
With Smart Plans, I'm allowed to set it and forget it. I don't have to worry about clients falling through the cracks.
It keeps track of things that we wouldn't otherwise think of. My clients' home anniversaries, their birthdays, the things that build that feel-good relationship with your clients, it automates. And so it makes those touches so much easier to keep track of and to make happen.
So what's really neat about Opportunities is that it will track that lead and that business through the process, not just track it in terms of steps, but also the math behind it. Every step of the way, as I get closer to a closing, I'm starting to realize those dollars. And as someone that knows pretty much every CRM out there, I've never seen this before.
For me as a team leader, I use the Opportunities dashboard the most, just looking at the numbers and seeing where we are. Conversion rates,
Average commission, we're tracking what our sales price is.
GCI, probable income, potential income, all those things are things that I'm looking at, and then ways to lead generate, ways to get more listings, ways to get more business within the team.
I can make smart business decisions based on where are we going to spend more money, where are we going to cut back, and it's all right there in one spot.
So like Gary said, when you know the right numbers, hitting the mark becomes the entire focus of the team. And so for us, when we want to know our numbers, we look at the reports dashboard to make sure that we're on track.
I could see what's on my agents' dashboards, but then I could also see how they're interacting. I could see where they're winning. I could see where they're not winning, and I could coach specifically to what it is I'm seeing. If I see a number of appointments being set and a number of appointments being held, but no listings being taken, and I have a tool that exposes that deficiency, what should I be coaching or training around?
Command has simplified our lives on the back end of running a team with a lot of moving parts and pieces and human capital. It's allowed us to go to one place to get the answers that we're looking for in almost every single facet of our business.
The cost per lead is ridiculously low. If I was spending $3,000 before, I can spend like $150 or $200 now. It's been like 95 cents a lead on Command.
One of our CRMs, we were paying as much as $2,000 a month.
I could take the money I was spending on a CRM and I could support another family by hiring somebody full-time into our organization.
We were able to cut our expenses by 50%. So moving to Command was just like a no-brainer. We can save money if we go to a free platform versus paying for one or two, right?
We
we've leveraged the technology within Command and allowed for that to enhance our business.
From A to pay, it just simplified everything.
You could tell that this was made for agents by agents.
What Keller Williams Command does better than any other system out there is it keeps you relevant and it keeps you right in the middle of the transaction, and it doesn't let any detail slip by.
Real estate is about helping people with one of the most fundamental aspects of their lives, home. And you are the expert they turn to. And not just when someone buys or sells, but before, after, and all the little spaces in between. So it can be frustrating when you don't have the time or technology to know when someone needs your help. And when you miss that opportunity, it creates a gap that someone or something else can step into. So let's close that gap and give you the time and technology you need to build high-quality relationships with more people. Let's join forces and demand our technology not replace us, but help us be more human, more present, more everything. Let's take Command. Built exclusively by and for Keller Williams agents, Command is your do-it-all, do-it-quickly, people-centric, less stress, more time, end-to-end platform to grow your relationships, your pipeline, and your market share. Whew! Luckily, using it is a lot easier than explaining everything it does, but let's give it a try. Organize, customize, and sync all your contacts. Group them however you want. Know exactly who to reach out to, when, and about the things they really care about. Send personalized neighborhood-centric just-in-time marketing materials in a snap. Have more conversations, build more relationships, earn more business. Say, "Hey Kelly," and escape from your desk in the office. Add a new contact, log notes, and sync everything while on the go. Seamlessly and transparently source, send, and manage referrals through one of the world's largest and most profitable referral networks. Deploy an ROI-maximized ad campaign across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in like 30 seconds. Integrate the systems and tools you already use every day. Automate paperwork and background tasks. Access real-time revenue projections, end-to-end ROI insights, and goal tracking to get a bird's eye view of your business. Have more conversations, build more relationships, earn more business. Command empowers you to be a better agent by giving you more time, more value, and more freedom. And best of all, it ensures you and your relationship with your clients remain at the heart of real estate, where you belong.
We don't get it right all the time. Nobody does. Sometimes we fail, but we fail forward. A couple years ago, we started reworking the Command app. We discovered that we had real AI all along. Agent intelligence. You told us what we did wrong, so we could work to make it right. And the only way to truly get it wrong is to give up. But we didn't give up. We hired the best to make the best. We kept building for you. We broke it down, we beefed it up. We went mobile, baby. And now that it's ready, we're not finished. Let our competitors say pencils down. It's not just about where we are, it's about where we're going. And we'll keep building the platform to go anywhere that you want to go. More time, more education, more contacts, more connections, more insights, more integrations, more on the go. More simple, more success, more results, more referrals. More leads, more listings, more leverage, more wealth. More human, more often. More MREA. We wrote the book on real estate, and now we've built the tech. A bigger and better network, so you could build yours. We transformed the technology from worry to works, from From bugs to business, from doubt to double down. This is where she who controls the lead controls the industry. Take control of your database. Take control of your leads. Take control of your money. Take back control and take command. This is now an app with a fiduciary interest. An app that makes your fight personal. This is an intuitive real estate machine that learns, corrects, improves, anticipates, just like entrepreneurs. Built for agents, by agents. This is pure Keller Williams, made not just to keep up with you, but make you faster. Take ground, take command. This is the place, and this is the technology, built for entrepreneurs to thrive. We did more than make it right. We made it us. Onward.
Whether you're a leader or agent, KW Command enables you to manage and grow your business through one powerful integrated platform.
A typical agent spends more than 60% of their time away from their desk. That means you have to be able to take your business wherever you go. The Command app makes it possible. When you are on the go, everything you need is right there on your phone.
You can access and manage your contacts, respond to new leads, prioritize daily tasks, and manage your opportunities, all within the Command app. Tasks are the backbone of your day. Within the Command app, you can easily add and manage tasks, then see a clear snapshot of what needs to get done when.
So your to-do list is always up to date and prioritized.
The Command app makes tracking contacts and leads easy. With built-in integrations for texting and calling, including Twilio and WhatsApp, you can effortlessly log a call or text, then instantly view it on your contact's timeline.
There is a reason Command Mobile has a 4.8 out of 5 rating in the App Store.
The Command app makes it easy to build, foster, and maintain relationships with your sphere of influence. You can assign a lead to a smart plan, add tags, and create notes, so you'll always remember what's important to your clients. You can manage your opportunities and always keep your pipeline updated. In-app and push notifications ensure you won't miss out on anything important.
Plus, the app makes it easy to manage read and unread notifications and to set reminders.
You'll always be in the know and ready for action whenever and wherever you get new info, like seeing who's requested a tour or who's inquiring about a property. Like we said, we're serious about helping you thrive.
With the Command app, everything you need is at your fingertips.
Command was created to help entrepreneurs like you thrive. Whether you're a market center leader or agent, KW Command enables you to run and grow your business through one powerful and integrated platform. We built Command around Gary's proven laws of lead generation. Build a database, feed it daily, and communicate with it systematically. It's all about being more human, more often, with more people. We want you to thrive in this market and capture your unfair share of every market. That's why we help you generate more leads for less. Using Command, you can upload your contacts and start a high-impact marketing campaign without spending a dime. You can run targeted ads across media channels, including Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, with just one login. In Command, you can create one-off listing campaigns or always-on recruitment programs with push-button ease. No marketing expertise required. You'll do in 9 minutes what used to take 9 hours. And at less than $3 a lead, you'll pay a fraction of what everyone else in the industry is paying. Save time, save money. Sold. Like we said, we're serious about helping you thrive. For streamlined lead gen, it's all right there. Friends, it's time for you to take command. Jason Abrams here. Everyone knows that I love to talk. It's a gift, but I also love to listen. We're having conversations with the best and the busiest. The biggest personalities making the biggest impact. The craziest and the coolest. It's about passion, strategy, and above all, it's about real, tangible success. This is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast, available anywhere you get your podcasts.
you very much. We appreciate all the efforts. I know it's been flooded in the other areas, but still you're here to join us. However, we will guarantee that your time here will not be wasted.
The world is changing globally in terms of the real estate landscape. So
I think we can all agree that change has happened in countries and many industries, and usually the way that change happens is by leadership. Someone has a vision for things to be done a different way and to lead. Really, the mindsets of Keller Williams, I think, is what that leadership demonstrates, and then the agents are then able to model and follow.
The world wants to complicate everything, including our industry. But what I love that you really clarify for me is that this business is ultimately pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. But if we put a person, a tool, or a system in place in our lead generation, person or tool or a system, or even all three in our lead follow-up, so it's systematic and it's always happening, then the ironic thing is that the service of your actual clients goes up. And then you know the business is coming because that's the engine.
In the past, I wasn't really purposeful much. I actually perform or do on a daily basis. But now, since I'm more purposeful, I know at what point be able to hit capper status.
So basically, you are now running a predictive business model.
Yes, that's correct.
Finding a real estate company that could back you up, it will be the most important decision that you would ever make in your entire life.
You don't feel that emotion, you don't feel that inspiration. It's not only that you feed your mind, but then after you finish that conference, you so fed your soul.
Leader is hard. This is what I learned. How can you help? It's not to get angry, it's not get emotion. It's just like you know your own mission and you know your goal. And we are just together equally to make it happen.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Andy. How are you?
Good, very good. Are you in Manila?
I'll be in Manila tomorrow.
Okay, good. Oh, you sound like you're under the weather.
Oh, no, I just recovered. So this is the remnants of under the weather. So I just recovered last week when I was in, actually last week when I was in Manila, I was not well at all. But now I'm like 95% back.
Oh, so that's why you had to leave early after your talk.
Yeah, I was not well. I did go back and rest. So
Anyway, good thing with Manila now, it's getting to be a bit cooler. We're going into the cooler climate, cooler weather. We're going into that wet season. So
Right.
you're going to be enjoying more when you stay here. We had a very nice weekend, very productive weekend. We had a very productive week last week, and thank you, Jonathan, for sharing a lot of learning, especially with the new brokers and the new network, right? So
Right,
it was really an application of the network that we talked about last Monday. So I hope all those who were here, who attended, was able to practice the learnings that they had last Monday and had an effective Met working, right? So today is going to be another very useful. Okay, exciting is different, but exciting is nothing if you're not going to apply it. So we're not here to excite you. We're here to give you some learning so that you can apply. So now it's going to be about farming. And we're going to talk about farming. See, right now with the global market, it is very important to be a local expert that is globally connected. That's the main thing that we have now. So we're not going into agriculture, but we are going into farming today. So then.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, all of us are going to be farmers at some point in time in our life as a real estate broker or as a real estate professional, because we really need to understand this concept of farming. And today, my goal, because I have to finish hard stop at 10 because I have to rush to the airport and I'll be in Singapore tonight for an inaugural event to kind of have a soft launch of KW Singapore in Singapore tonight.
Regards to Melvin.
Yes. So I'll be there. Then I'll leave for Philippines tomorrow early morning. But the goal of us talking about farming today is because this is not a unusual topic, or is not a foreign topic, right? It is something that all of us have heard. And sometimes I hear people telling me that farming is a Western culture, is a American style, it's a whatever style. I think as a real estate professional today, if we want to be good and consistent in what we do in achieving our results, we need to understand what's our focus. And the idea, if I ask you to remove the word farming and you replace it with this word called focus, that's it. It's as simple as that. Right? But the idea why is farming is important, we're going to talk about today. What are the myths of farmings? How to select a farm? How to work in your farm, and how do we put all those together? And I try to attempt to do all this in the next 60 minutes. So I hope we can get something moving forward. As we go, please feel free to put your questions on the chat box, and I'll be very happy to answer them. Right? Okay, let's go ahead. What is farming? So farming equals to market segment, equals to a narrower market, and equals to a niche market. Now, let me just pause for a while and just talk about these few words. Market segment is a very big word, right? So narrow market is a very big word. The goal of having that market segment is really, I will ask you to just think about your strength. Ask about yourself, what's your strength? Who are the kind of people that you will likely serve well? So the goal of farming, it's not property first. Don't think about the property, but think about the people in that market. Because this whole market is a very huge market, right? You have mass market, you have high-end, high net worth, ultra high net worth. You have so many of this market. Now, when I started real estate in 2004, I wanted to serve the market, number one, because in Malaysia it's a multi-language or multi-cultural country. We speak multiple languages. And I was more fluent in my English, right? There is also those Chinese speaking. I'm not as Chinese speaking as most Chinese Malaysians. So therefore, I understood, based on my strength of communication and language, I need to speak to the more educated market. Now in Malaysia, but then those who speak good English, likely to have a little bit more better education. So then I thought about putting myself into a fluent market. So I went to a market that is similar to your Rockwell or your BGC kind of market, right? But more affluent, more more educated. So I need to understand, based on my strength, what kind of people do I want to serve? It's very important, because you have to think about the people in that market, not the properties in the market. The properties are dead, but the people are alive. Always remember, in real estate, it's a people business. So ask questions: where do they live? Who are they? And what do they like? What do they like? So the market I serve was a market called Mont Kiara. It's kind of like the Rockwell. very high-end market. It's where everybody in the market wants to be there. It's like the dream location for most Malaysian who or at least the below 40 Malaysians that wants to stay in a more affluent space. Right. So they are the kind of person. They like to have nice restaurants. They like to have good eateries, good shopping, very nice security. They will pay their dues on time. So these are the kind of people that I thought I would want to serve by understanding them. So the question that I have for all of you here today is, who are the people that you are that you're serving right now? Because you've got to understand, without understanding the people in your market, you don't understand the market. I repeat, without understanding the people in your market, you do not understand the market. It is their behaviors, the way what they like, what they don't like, what they need, what they don't need, is critical in understanding your market. So by having that farm, understand your segment, you narrow it down to that group of people and you niche. Now, narrow is a very big word. Doesn't mean you only speak to like 10 people, right? So I want to narrow down to 3 key locations or 4 key locations that is adjacent to each other. So when I used to do my real estate planning, I have like my main area and my sub area, because I need to understand that people who stays in, for example, this location are also considering the adjacent locations, right? So I put myself in the map and I draw, this is my main GTA geographical target area, and the neighboring areas that have similar characteristics, that have similar people that potentially would like. So that's how I talk about farming or focus, right? Is to understand people, right? So this is really the key farming, right? Geographical farming. Where are they from? Who are they? What do they like? So this is the 3 questions that you need to be asking. I'm going to leave it here so that y'all can snap a snapshot. But think about all these things, right? So asking those 3 questions: where are they from? Who are they? What do they like? So if you're targeting an area, so someone give me a location right now that you are focusing on. Anyone, put in the chat box, please. What location are you focusing on? Let's put in the chat box. Batangas, okay. Paranake, okay. Now ask yourself these questions. Who are these people? Where are they from? Who are they? What's their age, gender, right? Income, net worth. What's their occupation? Race, nationality, language. Yeah, so you need to understand them, right? Because when you understand the group of people, you begin to think about how do you communicate to the farm, right? You need to understand what would that be. Yeah, of course, everyone employed, OFW. So there you go. So you need to think about who are they and what do they like? What's their preference? Because if you know what they like, your conversations and your value creation is linked to what they like. So for example, if you know that they like pickleball, for example, there's a crazy thing that's going on all over the world, right? Of course, everyone likes food, but what kind of food do they like? Right? What kind of food do they like? That's important to understand. Everyone likes food, but what kind of food do they like? What kind of hobbies do they like? So if you like pickleball, I would suggest, look, if you sign up for my database system, or if you sign up and register in my database, I'll give you 1 pickleball session for free, example, so that you know how you're communicating with them, you know how to have that understanding of their interests, hobbies, lifestyle, so that you can create messages or create value packages for the people that you're trying to connect with when you're farming. So these are the 3 key things. When you target your market, you target your message, you target your efforts, right? So you need to understand what does that mean by these people, right? So farming is basically asking these 3 questions, focusing on the people in the location that you want to focus on, right? So a lot of times we get it wrong. We go focus on the property. And that's not the first place to start. The first place to start is the people, right? Okay, so myth about farming is farming takes too long and costs too much. And the truth is farming can become the core of your business. I believe that most successful real estate agents or brokers in the world I've seen who are consistently earning good income and consistently transacting a lot are the ones that actually focus on key locations or key market segments. Location is only one way to focus on. You can be focusing on market segments, like for example, industrial, commercial. I used to have an agent that I train and coach. He just focusing on land that is going to be converted into petrol kiosks. Very niche. Petrol kiosk land conversion. That's his focus. And every year he helps petrol kiosk franchisees or owners open up 10 to 15 of them all over the country. So that's his focus, right? So it's a niche. So you got to understand who they're talking to and what he's doing, right? So that's farming that can be core of your business, right? Someone else already dominates the area. Don't go there because too many people doing. Or no one is ever as dominant as you think. Let me tell you this. There's a Chinese saying, if there's a lot of people focusing that area, there are a lot of people doing that particular thing, likely it's a very profitable business. I repeat, if you see a lot of agents who are already trying to work in that location, likely it's the best place to be in. You don't find places where there's no agents, maybe there's no opportunity, that's why nobody goes there, right? And it's very difficult because real estate is not like a product. Real estate is a what do you call it, inelastic product. It is something that based on needs of people that is developed over time. Because I cannot produce this mobile phone and suddenly it create a need for them because this is a fast-moving consumer good. It's a cheaper thing. It's a low entry to barrier cost purchase. But when you talk about real estate, there are a lot of consideration. It's a major purchase, right? So it's not so easy to swing my belief and also my way of thinking to buy that particular location. So creating new opportunity in where nobody is there may not be the best option for you. I like to go and compete in a high activity location because why? It's more fun and you understand that there are a lot of buyers there. So if you just know, and sellers there, you just sit down in the center and then figure out how to create that relationship and build that opportunity for yourself. It's a much more straightforward way of approaching the business. I always believe in that. And I always believe that there's no market, there's not enough, that has too many agents. There's only market that has few good agents. All very, very good and popular agents. So you need to compete and win that market share, right? No one is as ever dominant as you think. I think it's not difficult to go in there and re-dominate all again. You just have to figure out what's the strategy and what's the formula. But I think no one stays king number one forever. You just have to think about it that way, right? Okay, a farm limits you to the area of specialty is not true. A farm does not have to be your only source of business. Remember, a farm does not have to be your only source of business. One of my agents in Malaysia that went coaching with me, a team of them, they were only selling big houses, like huge house and lots. They're talking about 3,000 square meter, 2,000 square meter lots, big houses, mansions, right? And when they start focusing on those big mansions, they were dominating that particular neighborhood. Eventually, what happened is because all these rich, wealthy people in that neighborhood started to pass them commercial and industrial listings of big ticket items to them because these are the people that stays in mansions, right? So they start diversifying into much bigger ticket items because they dominated these markets so well, right? So these are some of the experiences I've seen, including myself. I dominated certain markets so well that the developers in the market came to me and say, hey, would you take charge of this for us, right? At a point in time, I was serving a developer, team of my team serving a developer in our market, and we were actually taking charge of their sales gallery, 5 sales galleries nationwide because of my dominance in that particular market. So running real estate new projects is actually something that I'm very good at. I can only have 20 agents, but serving 5 projects in 5 different locations, running their sales gallery and doing 50% of their sales. So that's something that I've done before, right? And I understand. Once you understand how to farm it, opportunities come to you because you have shown to be able to do something so well that people want you, right? So it's all about mailers and mass marketing. That's not true. It's all about having synergistic impact on both marketing and prospecting. You need to connect with them and you need to market. You don't have, you cannot go and do a farm and just be very passive about that. You need to sit down and talk to people. You know, one of the things that I used to do when I was a on the ground real estate person, there are 2 particular groups of people that I talk to almost every week. The first group, the security guard in the condos. They know me by name, I know them by name. Second person, the management office people in the condos. They know me by name, I know them by name. Right? So these 2 groups of people are the one that I sit down and talk to, that they will actually automatically refer people to me. Right? I create my own referral system, my own referral program, say, look, if I can give you a referral program, would you collaborate with me? So these are the things that I did with, of course, all this are across board, above with permission and all. So it gives me a lot of time. And I sat down, I always ask, who is the chairman of that particular development? Who is of that particular management corporation? I don't know what you have that in Philippines, but over here we have something called management corporation. Who is the chairman? Who is the association chairman of that particular condo? I want to get to know them. I want them to know me, right? I want to be known as the main person that does a lot of transactions in this area. So those are the conversations and communication that you need to have. It's just not about sending flyers, right? It's just not that. It's really that and connecting with people, right? You can stop and start your farming at first. That's not true. You got to pursue your farm consistently and persistently, meaning you got to be there consistently. You can't say that I want to stop farming for 3 weeks and see what happens. No, you have to think about consistently doing your farming activities. Open houses is a very good farming activities. I did many open houses in big estates, the big bungalow estates, houses where it was costing around the figure, let's just say pesos, probably about 200 million pesos, 100 million pesos. I was working on those kind of houses and creating a lot of events, wine events, cheese events. I even have art display before. I would have done events for test drive of sports cars. I had an open house and I had 2 Mercedes SLKs back then. If you know what is Mercedes SLK, it's an older version of the sport cars. But I've got that parked there and I sent an invitation card to everyone in the neighborhood and surrounding neighborhood and my database and telling them I've got this open house and you can test drive SLK for free. I work with a local Mercedes dealer. So you create those events and those things you do to create impact, right? So many things you can do. I used to, Andy, do you all drink soya bean milk in the Philippines?
Yes.
Is it popular? Is it popular?
Now it is, yeah. Because
so,
a lot of people are getting into health stuff.
Right. So soya bean milk is very common. It's a very common drink, and there's something called tofu fa. It's like a tofu. It's like a dessert, right? So what I did is I went to this neighboring park and I put down a soya bean vendor. I said, look, sit there for the next 5 hours. I will pay you how much you used to earn as 5 hours. Just assuming 1 hour you spend 300 cups, I will pay you for 1,000 cups right now. All the people that goes to the park for exercise in the neighborhood, they get a free soya bean. My poster is there. I'm standing there. Register my database, and you get free soya bean. And you're going to sell a house, you inquire there. So those are the things that I did to farm consistently. I wish I had a lot of photos back then, because back then the phone was not with cameras, right? If you remember. So I didn't have enough photos to show you, but that's what I was doing. To farm that location area. When I did project selling, I even went to the wet market. I got the developer to develop a movable van that comes with a movable booth of our development. And we went to the wet market and we stand there and we just registered, right? Free Coca-Cola given if you register with us. So you want to think things that's doing farming consistently so people can see you, feel you, talk to you consistently, not just one-off. Consistently is the important thing, right? So selecting your farm, how do you select your farm? Niche categories overlap. Select a farm and intensify your efforts. Think about the 10 factors to consider in the geographical farm. Your goals. Now, is this farm going to help you achieve your goals? Right? Ask yourself, is the number of unit count that you sell in a year will help you achieve your goals? Do you have the budget to fulfill those goals? What's the size of that particular farm? Is it location? How many have mets and haven't mets you have in your database that potentially could fit there? Right? What's the average price per unit? What's the turnover rate? How often do people change hands in that location? Right? What's the market condition? What's the competition? And you're fit for the farm. Are you a fit for the farm? Ask yourself those questions to consider the geographical location. Right? So your goals, market share, gross close income, number of transactions. Is this particular farm able to help you get your results? Meaning, you have to ask yourself, historically, in this location, was there enough transactions? Was there enough listings and database that you can see, that you can use to achieve your goal? If not, then maybe your farm has to be a little bit bigger. It's too small because why? You got not enough opportunities. You're going to go a little bit bigger. So, for example, historically, if that location has 50 to 100 transactions annually, can you capture 10% of that market? Is that 10-20% of that market your ability, your opportunity to hit your goal? So you have to ask that questions, right? So important to know your market very, very well, right? Your budget, time and money, how would that look like in terms of time and money for me if I want to focus in that location? Now, one of the things about Philippines I realized is a time factor because of beautiful country, nice country, just that there's something about your traffic jams that is, I have been baptized in your traffic jam, just put it this way. I understand how it works. So after my baptism of traffic jams in Manila, I realized that there are certain things that you cannot do to stretch yourself because of the traffic jams. So ask yourself, how does that look like in terms of time and money in terms of that? So you're going to be very clear, how does that look like? Because that's going to impact your market, right? The size of the geographical farm, option to start small, grow adjacent streets and neighborhood. Is it easier to meet people? It's important for people in the neighborhood to know you. If you truly want to farm that place, you've got to be known as the person for that location. You've got to be known like that. Or at least the person of that segment market, or the person of that particular thing. So you need to have that that branding or that particular approach, right? Very importantly, right? Location of farms, what's the existing geographical boundaries? What kind of homes? Is it desirable or not? What's the number of heaven and mets that you have in your database that you could use for your business? What's the average sale price? Will this support your goals? What's the turnover rate? National turnover rate, which is 4%. This is the US. The turnover rate means every year 4% of that particular neighborhood properties will be which will be changing hands. Can you find a place that's about 10%? So it depends. If you have 1,000 homes there, can you see them having 100 transactions a year? 10,000 homes, 1,000 transactions a year. 100,000 homes, 10,000 transactions. You know the drill. So think of it that way, right? Is that where you are? I know that some statistics are limited in Philippines, but just have a general idea of that particular location or that particular market segment, right? In that particular location. Right. I'm not going to go here. Okay. Other conditions, days on market, expired listing. Are there many listings in the market? I realize there are many listings in the market in the Philippines, but there are very few that is priced correctly. Andy, would you agree to that?
Very much.
And that's the opportunity. That's the opportunity because all of us know how to take listings, but a lot of us may not know how to price the property correctly. So you're going to think about that as well, right? If there are a lot of listings in the market, great. Your opportunity is how do I price it correctly? How do I go down deep if every single owner's consistently to price it correctly, right? Market share versus mind share. the competition of market share versus mind share. Think about how many people knows you, how much are you out there, how much content you creating about the location, that's mind share, and how many transactions you are doing, or even start with how many listings do you have in that location. That is priced correctly. I've got the 60%. See, if I've got 100% listings versus I've got the 100% listings that is priced correctly, it's two different things. Two different things. Are you known for the guy in that market that have a listing that is priced correctly all the time? Or you attempt to price correctly all the time? Or you are just known as another agent that have a lot of listings? So how do the market know you? How do the market understand you? How do you tell the market your story? And a simple way of doing this, the opportunity I see in the Philippines is, how do I help owners solve their problem? How do I help them price their property correctly so that it can move fast? You've got to think like that, right? And that's the opportunity that you should be having, because I see that opportunity in your market right now, right? Can I relate and fit in with them? Am I able to fit and communicate with them, right? That's important. Right, so the 10 factors to consider: your goals, your budget, your size, accessibility, again, haven't met versus matched, your average sales price, the motivation of the people, the current trends, competition, and do you fit the farm, right? Cool. So selecting your farms, these are some example of niches. Specific generation, you serve the younger generation, older generations, certain races, foreign-born customers, second home investment buyers, luxury home clientele, or you are serving other real estate agents that come to you as the source of leads. What would that be? Where are you selecting your farms? In that farm, are you good for this particular market? I used to be known in this market, number one, for a good person that serve foreign buyers. Because in our market back then, many years ago, it's a foreign market, specific foreign market buyer location. And also a lot of outstation owners that don't stay in our area, but they stay in a different state. So I like to position myself as that person that can solve all their problems, right? So I like to put myself there to serve those foreigners because I enjoy working with them. So that's something I position myself. So understanding your niche is important. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a while. Andy, any feedback, any thoughts, any ahas?
Okay. We'll start from this selection of farm. Well, you have already listed down everything. In terms of, you have already selected your farm, but the way you could serve your farm better and the way your farm will appreciate you is that on top of the budget, you also have to determine whether you have the proper skills, the knowledge, and the expertise to serve your farm. Because you might have selected your farm already, but then are you prepared to serve your farm? Yeah. Will they appreciate you? Will they recognize you? Will you have the credibility? Will they have confidence with you? Will they want to do transactions with you?
That's right.
You have to be identified as the local expert, just like what Jonathan has exampled earlier. You are already known. You have your reputation in your farm. Another aha there would be, you see, they have in the previous slides, there were 3 categories. You have the demographic profile for demographic farming, geographic farming, and psychographic farming. Right now, if your project is non-geographically sensitive, you have to be a master of knowing the psychological profile of your clients. This is a huge market because if it's just geographic, then you are limited to your market within your area. But if you know how to master identify the psychological profile, it's a huge market. It goes beyond borders and it goes beyond races. As long as people appreciate, as long as you know what triggers them, what excites them, what motivates them, it's a huge market.
Right. And I think to your point, Andy, that's why a project that you are selling in Tagaytay is making so much headwinds around the world is because it's positioned that way. It's not the normal kind of location-based specific market, right? It's a dream, right? It's an opportunity for them to own something that they can never own before for a price that is so affordable.
And they make money.
And they make money, right? So they like it, they make money, it's not expensive, and it's nice. And it's a cool place to stay on the weekend, and I make money from it at the same time. So,
Correct.
so that's an example of a niche that's not location-based, but yet you clearly know that it's an investment-grade vacation home dream place, right? So you got to understand that target audience, right? And I remember, and Andy always sit down and show the pictures very nice. He don't talk about price. He said this is very nice, including myself. I like it so much, no? So he showed everything, and then he asked this question: how much do you think you'll pay for it?
Yeah.
Right? That's his trick. But he's smart because why? Everybody wants this, and they all think that it's expensive.
Yes.
Right? You cannot run away. I remember I sat down in a dinner with him, and he was talking to someone about this, and he was showing this to this person who was, I think, from China but stays in Philippines in that dinner. And I remember the guy said 25 million, 30 million.
30 million, yeah.
30 million peso. No, he said it's only 12 million, 16 million, something to that extent. Wow. The guy said, wow, okay, not bad. Right? So, because you have to understand, but because Andy understands the people that potentially likes this, and he also understands how to communicate. Because once you understand who they are, your way of communicating to them and transferring that opportunity to them sounds very different. Right? It's really that understanding of that market very well. Anything else, Andy?
Okay. The GTA earlier said one thing that you should remember, the term is your GTA, your geographical target area, and your PTM, your primary target market. The primary target market does not mean these are the only ones, but it means this comprise majority of your market, majority of your client. And also, if you want to be identified, you cannot claim your market. Nobody can say, this is my market.
Right.
Let the market choose you.
Exactly.
And you can do that based on what was in the previous slide, through consistency and persistency of your presence. You cannot just do one ads and then that's it.
That's right.
You have to be consistently present. You have to be persistently present. They have to see you. They have to, when they hear about the location, they should remember your name.
That's
It should be synonymous to your name. Like this area should be synonymous to your area. Consistent and persistent.
That's right. And now we're talking about people, right? Buyer demographic profiles, the buyers that potentially come in here. And I think these are the three key segments of the market that is relevant to us in this season. The baby boomers, the echo boomers, or those who are Generation X, and also the millennials. Now, in any location, any market, all three of these people are definitely your key focus. They're your key people. These are just the reasons why I put it here. This slide is to let you know what potential kind of people are you going to talk to. Right? So when you see a baby boomer senior, when they come to look for a condo in Rockwell, for example, potentially are they downsizing from a smaller home? Are they looking at buying for the kids, buying for their grandkids? I don't know. I hope my late grandfather wasn't that wealthy to buy me a home, but I believe there are a lot of grandfathers out there who have wealth that is able to help buy their first home for their first grandson. I think Andy is going to buy something for his daughter or the grandkids in the future, right? But you got to understand that these are the kind of people that you're going to talk to, these three key categories. So how do you message to them? It's different. So you have three messages for three different groups of people in your location. That's important to understand how you message your market, right? And you need to understand these are the three key people that you're talking to. You can't have one message for everyone. That doesn't work, right? In marketing, that doesn't work. right? Yeah, in luxury homes, 81% of under 35 years old are planning to buy a luxury home in the coming years. This is a real thing. There's a phenomenon in Malaysia and Indonesia. There's a huge phenomenon, and it's called the new wealthy people. I translate from our language, so orang kaya baru, or it's called the new wealthy people. These are the people that overnight in the last 5 years, somehow through cryptocurrency or whatever industry, they become rich overnight. Just like that. And this is a group of people that's going around the world right now, acquiring assets, acquiring properties, acquiring luxury. Because every time when someone acquire properties outside of their particular country, it's normally to a luxury market, normally, right? So a lot of people who are affluent under the age of 35 are likely going to buy something in the next 1 to 2 years. It's very clear. These are statistics shown in the US. I think it's quite similar here. And growth for luxury is going to be a big market. I think in the Philippines, the best market to be in, I feel, is the luxury market. I think luxury market, it's a huge, huge market. You have so much wealth there. And I think how all of us can take opportunity of that is there. I think there's an opportunity there for the luxury market, right? Okay, I'm going to quote here. Defining your identity and positioning. Selecting your farm to define your identity and positioning. What's your personality? Is your personality a fit? How you dress up, how you put that video, how you communicate, how you use certain words. You don't, if you go to a luxury market, you don't say it's cheap. Come and buy the cheap property. That you don't say cheap. You say value. Best value property. Best price property. Right? Exciting offer. Right? An offer that you cannot refuse. Right? Think about that. Think about that. So what's that personality, the fit, the image, the values, the interest, the lifestyle that you have? It's important. Right? Okay, working your farm. This is the myth. I don't have money to lead generate. That's a myth. A lead generation doesn't cost money. Lead generation doesn't have to cost money. You can do it in a cost-effective way. For example, making phone calls. For example, knocking on doors. For example, sending mailers out to the neighborhood so that they receive your mail. I don't know how much it costs to send a postal mail here in the Philippines, but I can imagine it's not very expensive, right? Go and collect people's database, send them a bunch of emails, right? Those are not expensive. So think about creative ways that you can lead gen without spending too much money, right? So establish your reputation first. Reputation versus relationship. Oh, this is a very good one. Reputation is what people think of you or what has happened or what you have created, what people think about you and what have you done in that market. Your reputation is based on your track record of efforts, success, and blunders, right? And in blunders, right, most important, don't forget, mistakes are important in any market. The issue is how do you fix that mistake? That's important. That gives you the reputation because we are all a human being. We make mistakes. But how do you fix those mistakes is important. Of course, we try to avoid making mistakes, but when we make a mistake, what do we do about it? How can you still get a 5-star rating after making a mistake? That's important when you think about reputation versus relationship. How strong is your relationship? How many relationships do you have? How often do you see people, you talk to people, and have lunch with people, have coffee with people? So a lot of this relationship is important, and be sincere about who you are. It's important to understand how to communicate to the market about who you are, right? The human being you are, not the Superman that you are not. Right? Remember, right, the real way, what market expect today, especially in today's society, globally, right? Let me give you an example of a show. How many of you watched Netflix? Okay. How many of you watch TV? Watch YouTube? You watch all those things, right? Remember, a lot of people are liking to watch reality shows right now. Why? There's a lot of reality shows going out there right now. Why? Because there is, of course, some of these reality shows are fixed. They are also kind of like not 100% real, right? But a lot of people like to watch reality shows because they want real things. They don't like, yes, it's raw and actual. They like that kind of thing. So if you dress too much up, you tell people how great you are, I'm Superman in this location, people find that to be fake, right? You still can tell a good story, you still can dress up and tell a good story, but by being raw and actual, I like that statement there. Thank you for sharing that on the chat box. It's raw and actual. They want to see the genuineness of you. They want to see if you say what you say and you do what you say. Marketing is no longer about how nice we say it. It's about how consistent we are in what we say and what we do. So that's about it. You have to be sincere about who you are, right? Prospecting your farm, relationship farming, prospecting-based marketing enhanced. You gotta sit down and think about this very clearly. How do you build in that relationship? And how do you have that marketing-based and prospecting-based kind of activities in your market, right? So work hard, not work smarter, not harder, right? Find your bird dog. What's a bird dog? Bird dogs are people in that location that will refer you listings. Core advocates who refer you business. So for example, the laundry shop in that particular location, make friends with them. Tell them, hey, can I get 10% discount voucher from you so that I can send to all my clients? By the way, if you have anyone that wants to buy real estate or sell their listing in this building, please send them to me. I'll give you 10% referral. So you're going to find those key people that could give you those leads. Your core advocates that can refer you business. This is one of the most important things in the farm, is to build that core advocates. I used to be able to walk into any neighborhood, passing the security guard, as if I'm one of them. Why? Because they've seen me so frequent. They have seen my family. They've met my wife. I probably have bought them meals because they know me. They have a relationship with me. So we're going to find your bird dogs, people that could give you more leads in that location so that you can work smarter, not harder, right? Come from community, have always something of value to give, meet people face to face. Think about what value you can give. Market reports. What's the outcome? I mean, some of you went to Robert Cemento's event. If you follow him, I'm following him now on social media. He has multiple reports, articles, write-ups that he writes. Those are things of value. Now, some might be 100% fantastically interesting. Some might not be as interesting. But the goal is this. It's not about who is the best content creator. It's about who is creating content consistently that is giving me value. The idea key word here is consistent. Consistent. Sometimes it's a repetitive of what's happening last week. Oh, let me give you an update of the US dollar versus the peso. That is a consistent update. It's boring, right? But it's consistent. Like right now, Malaysia ringgit, it's going through a very interesting time. For the first time, we are leading the ASEAN region as a top currency that is appreciating against the US dollar. That's the story I'm telling people right now. I'm telling the people around me I could use as resource to tell people around me, right? So those are the updates that you can do, right? Create a directory. Like this is what I used to do. I send a directory of all the top restaurants, the banks, clinics, schools, kindergartens in the location, and I'll send it out to people. At that time, I didn't create a website, but I have like a chat group that people could join. I can update them. But create a directory. Send them a list with vouchers inside for if you have discount coupon vouchers. If you can do something like this of value, you are definitely known as the market person that knows your market very, very well. Right. So working your farm. This is something that you think about and you write down consistently. What's the average list price, average sales price, current quarter, previous quarter, what's the change, what's the previous quarter, what's the change? This itself, if you find this kind of report, if you can create this report, this is a very good market value evaluation report to send to your clients every quarter, every year, even every year once. Show them that you know the numbers, right? Think about how do you get that data, right? So be where your customers are, walk your neighborhood, repetition is clean, join the club if you can. Do a lot of internet lead generation. Today, lead generation is important. So if you have not done Facebook lead gen, I highly encourage you to think about Facebook lead generation. Because having a multiple listing ad set done on Facebook is going to help you to be seen consistently online. Oh, that is the guy that is common, always there. So you got to be online and offline, and everywhere leads to you. You got to be in that kind of mode for your business, right? I'm going to pause here for a while. Andy, anything to add?
A lot of it is about your being the one that you mentioned earlier. This one, walking in your neighborhood and featuring the highlights of your neighborhood.
Yep.
You don't have to just describe it. Be there. If you're active in your social media, just maybe have coffee in the most famous coffee shop there. Maybe promote a restaurant there. Then you get the support of these people also. Know these people there. If you give them value, and you don't even ask, you're not even asking them for commissions or even as a vlogger, but they would appreciate the fact that you're promoting them because you're promoting the whole community.
That's right.
And you know what they will do in return? They will promote you. So just give value to them, and don't expect anything, but again, they will return. There's what you call as the law of reciprocity.
That's right.
Right? You give value, they will give you value.
Right. And one of the things I like to show everyone today is why Facebook campaigns is something that is really, really important in today's market. And I see the opportunity in the Philippines as well. A lot of people don't use it, which I'm very curious why, especially for the secondary market. So if you're in Command today, if you're using Command at a high level, this is something that you need to me, this is your number one thing that you need to learn in Command is how to run campaigns, right? So over here, you can create opportunities that will run traffics or generate leads. So I'm going to create generating leads. And I want to talk about as farming, right? The multi-listing thing is important. So when you're talking about multi-listing, you're able to feature multiple listings, up to 3 listings or more in your Facebook ads, right? So because of our system, we are synchronizing all our listings inside. I can now select all my listings in the location. So let me just potentially talk about Makati. Right, so I'm going to do Makati, right? Let's just say I select multiple listings. Right, I have no idea where the listings are. So having multiple listings in your ads, of course, I'm not searching the correct one, but if you have proper ones, you can select multiple listings in your ads that show people that you are actually a listing expert or a person that is that location. Of course, you can target the particular radius of the listing, because every time you key the listing, you put in the address and the postcode, you should have a geotag inside the listing. You can either put a custom location or listing location. Now, it's very simple, right? You can create all kinds of AI right now inside our system, and you can create all this stuff for you right now. All your ads are all now, all the words and all that are now all preset for you if you want to. You don't have to think so hard, right? And the most important thing is leading back to your website. Right. Right. It's going there, and then you can tag the leads, right? Let's say I want to tag Makati, right? Yeah, I'm going to tag McCarthy. It's a campaign that I run on Facebook. It's a VVIP. I can tag them whatever. I can even run an 8x8 smart plan straight away. So when you generate new leads, where's my 8x8 smart plan? There you go. 8x8 smart plan. You are able to create that opportunity to send out leads, but also social media wise on the line, people are seeing you as a key particular person in that location, right? And then you can calculate how much this you will get here. There you go. So if I'm doing it for, let's say, 10 days, I want to spend about $100.
Your needs to immediately shut down.
Right, there you go. So that's the leads you can get. So this is 5 minutes you can get an ad done. I highly encourage agents. You're at KW right now. You got to use this particular function to tell people that you are actually an expert in that location, right? So those are important. So I just thought I wanted to just quickly talk about that a little bit to give you some sort of a guide. Because why is that important? Because the internet lead generation right now is one of the key media platform that you need to understand, right? Internet generation. So create mini farm call to action, send out messages like this, find out how much your home is selling for, right? Toll free, what's your phone number? Put your phone number there, right? Call us and you'll receive something about your property or whatever, right? So send them 12 messages after that particular message that you get. These are some of the things that you can do after your internet leads that you generate, right? You can communicate with them by putting these things in front of them. Concentrate on your open houses, hold seminars and classes, join the local associations if you have, get to know more tenants and landlords. Always remember, guys, a tenant is a future buyer. A tenant is a buyer that has not yet found a home or not yet ready to buy a house. But he's a future buyer for sure, right? Most of the time, most tenants wants to be house owners, right? Get to know every FSBO or expired listing in the market. Create a local flavor for your marketing, right? These are important things, right? Working in your farm, increase the size of your farm, increase your cost, increase your effort, increase prospecting, increase marketing, increase all three. When you want to build a bigger farm, when you want to do much bigger things, that's where you start sizing up. When you start small and go think big, start small, grow deep, right? Okay, I'm going to come and pause here for a while. How many of you have learned something today? We are almost coming to the top of the hour. What are some of your answers? You have learned something? Please press 3 on the chat box. Right. So, yeah, what are some of your ahas, guys? Put on the chat box. Andy, any thoughts, any ahas? You have to understand the people in the market before you enter the market. Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Okay. This is the most important thing when you have established your presence in your farm. If you are calling clients, this is you are an agent. But if these clients, this market is calling you, that means they have already recognized you as an authority there, and they will come to you as a consultant. Then you are the source of good news. You are the source of highlights there. You are the source of data. You are the source of information. You are the source of opportunities there. So people will come to you. That is the advantage if you are consistent and persistent with your farming. See? Posture, positioning, that was discussed in slide 17 or 18. You position yourself there. They will come to you. That's the advantage.
Awesome. Did someone raise his hand? Joshua, do you have a question? Did you raise your hand to ask a question? Joshua? No? Okay, I think it's a mistake. Yeah, anyone else? Anyone got any ahas, any questions, any thoughts that I can answer, Andy can answer? Any other ahas that you all learned? Anyone learn anything besides Danny's sharing? Anyone else? What are some of your ahas today?
I have another way of questioning. How do you intend to grow your farm today?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Open your cameras. How do you intend to grow your farm and apply what you have learned today?
There you go. Anyone? You are shy people from Philippines today. very shy. And I think Andy, the first thing I would advise people to do, the first thing you need to understand is figure out who the people are and how are you talking to them right now. What's your value proposition in that market right now? Yeah,
Yes.
someone raised a hand. Eventually, do you want to raise-
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was a mistake. There you go. Right. Anyone? Any other ahas?
Okay, I see Zach here. Zach has a farm. Zach is farming one of the top areas here, which is Ayala Labang. Zach, would you like to share your experience in tapping that elite market?
Hi, good morning. I'm on the road right now. I'm here in
Okay.
Alabang.
Going to your farm.
Yeah, actually going to BIR.
Okay.
Yeah, just I've learned a lot from the talk today. Things that I can apply more. Is yung similar to what he mentioned. Yung building the reputation. Yeah. I have a aha moment when you mentioned that when client begins to calling you to look for you, that means somehow you have established your reputation, and that's been happening to me for some time now. So I guess the reputation is there na. It's just it needs more push pa.
Yeah. You see, the mere fact that I identified Zach as an authority in Ayala Labang, that means he has already established his image as an authority in the area.
Thank
Right.
you for that.
Thank you. Right. Someone shared that there's a problem with her microphone, but today after 10:30, I'm going to make a video, raw and actual, of me going around the unit of a unit here, owner here in Azure. I will apply what I learned today. Exactly, good. So one of the good contents that you can write, to your point, Evangelista, is very good, is my day-to-day in this listing. How many people have shown this property? How many appointments every single appointment, if you create a simple video about your appointment with the client at their permission to show them what you have done and do a reel that kind of summarize the whole day, that's good content to show people that you are actually aggressive in that market. Right? That's an example. Cool. Okay, we are running at the top of the hour. Is there any announcements for me to make? Hannah, is there any announcements? Hannah, are you there? Yes. Right. So we are actually launching our series called Ignite. Now, Ignite is a design 20-power sessions that talk about how to help you in your business to run the business consistently. And this is a very, very intensive class. Now, this is recommended for people who have not done more than 36 transactions a year. Highly recommend you to join this particular training program. And the goal of it is, at the end of the day, you will be not only learning on the room, but you'll be taking action in the room as well. You'll be doing something about your business. Your goal is to make the phone calls, your power sessions during the sessions, right? So the goal is that you will learn how to use your do this in a way that will help you in your business. So join this session Ignite if you want. If you're interested, please speak to someone that invited you to the event or the person that sent you the link. Then you can potentially join your Ignite. Right. Next. Any other announcement? No announcement. Okay. With that, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Andy. Any last words for everybody before we go for the week?
Okay, my last message. Did you notice the way Jonathan said how to run your business? Brokerage is not, being a licensed broker is not just selling like a salesperson. You have your license as a broker. Do not waste it just by selling. Grow your business. Run real estate as a business. And this is what you will be discovering when you attend Ignite. So don't waste your license. You learn how to do this as a business.
Right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day. See you all next week. Okay. Take care. See you all next week. Take care. Bye.